Today I want to talk about a game called Goblin Sushi. It's out in early access and it's only $10 and it feels like a Flash game. Now I know some people use that as an insult, like, oh, this feels like a Flash game like an early 2000s, it's cheap, it's poorly produced, it's repetitive, that sort of thing. I mean Flash game in all the right ways. It's fun, it's fast, it's addictive, it's something you can pick up and play for 10 minutes pretty much anywhere since it's on mobile as well. It has all those great qualities, and it's fun. And I know I've said that already, but that's like the most important thing for a game to be, right? If a game's not fun, there's no point in playing it. So here's how the game functions. You can see it running kind of in the background here. So you're running a sushi restaurant, and you need to make sushi for your people who are hungry. They'll come in, they'll order something, you give them the order. It sounds pretty simple, but it gets chaotic really fast because there's so much going on. You've got to restock the rice cooker, you have to restock your protein shakes, you have to restock your ingredients, and each one of those things is on a different timer, so you're constantly moving around. It's got this very frantic pace. If you've ever played Overcooked, it's kind of got that level of urgency and frantic energy to it in such a good way. And then to add on to it, to give it a twist, this is also a rogue-like game. So there's constantly going to be upgrades that come in that give you different perks or change the way that you play. And that's what I love the most, is it's not just like, oh, you get more money for this, or like an incremental game where it's always expanding and always giving you more, but rather it can completely change the way that you're playing. So if you're bored of playing one way, you can play another way. For example, when you build a onigiri, which is just the rice and the seaweed, it's kind of your base recipe, it will always give you 10 gold at the start. You can build up your rice so that it gives you more for that. You can build up the specific recipe so that it gives you more. You can build it so you make it into poop, which is if you make the recipe wrong, it creates a poop. And you can have like a whole poop build where customers crave that if you want to for whatever reason. You can expand out how many recipes you have. So if you want to focus on having like a wide variety, not only do you have more recipes to memorize, but you get more gold for the more recipes, or you can focus on only having a few different recipes, but getting a lot of money for them. And that again caters to what kind of playstyle do you like. The recipes are in a book to your right, but you actually have to like click on it to look at the recipes, and it expects you to memorize the recipes. So if you have a lot of recipes, there's a lot more for you to learn, there's a lot more chance for you to mess it up, and there's a lot more chance for you to create poop. So that can be a good or bad thing depending on how much you want that, again, frantic energy. I think my most successful builds I've had have focused on having things that only have 1 or 2 ingredients or 3 ingredients or less, which makes it much easier to memorize, and I focus on getting out as much food as fast as possible. And ultimately, the money is the important thing, because every so often, the landlord will come by and you'll have to pay him from the goal amount. If you don't have the goal amount, you lose. If you have the goal amount, then you can pay him off and then you can go for a little bit longer. However, you have to balance that money between merchants will occasionally come by and you can give the merchants money for more perks to make more money, but if you spend too much and don't have enough for the goal, you instantly lose. So there's interesting decisions to make, and again, it's coming at you so fast, so you feel like you've got to make these decisions quickly, and that just adds to the fun of it. I especially love the modifiers that make it so that if you put certain ingredients in certain spaces, you get more money. For example, rice always is in the middle is one that I selected for this run. So when I'm building my sushi, I want to make sure the rice is always in the middle position, and it creates more money for it. Later in the run, I'll also select one that makes it so that ingredients can't touch, like you can't put 2 rice next to each other. So it's almost like a puzzle figuring out, how do I craft this recipe where I have rice always in the middle, but ingredients are never touching. And then the final one I get is nori at the end, where you have to put the seaweed at the end. And if you can do all those different things, you get a huge bonus for it, and it's worth even more, which allows you to win. But it's trying to remember that recipe in that specific order. And then the next run you'll have different perks, so you might not use that same recipe in the same order. So you don't get like this knowledge carrying from over and over and over again, because every recipe is going to be different. It makes each playthrough feel unique and fun. And then on top of all of those choices, there's also a little devil who will come by occasionally and offer you a devil's deal. And those will give you a huge perk, but it also comes with a huge downside. For example, one of my favorite perks is the conveyor belt perk. As long as you have less than 5 items on the conveyor belt, it will move way faster. But if you put more items on the conveyor belt, it will slow down to a crawl, and then your food doesn't get out and your customers get upset and they leave. Usually how I play is I stuff the conveyor belt with as much sushi as possible because people will have it, it's there, it's made for you, it's very efficient, but you can't do that when you enact that specific devil deal because obviously it'd slow everything down, you'd instantly lose. So again, it's something that comes in and really changes the way you're approaching each match. He's got a lot of different great deals and a couple that I haven't quite figured out how to use yet, but I'm sure they're great once you figure out how to use them. Like one of the other ones I really enjoy, it makes the rice cooker always going off, so it's one less thing to click on. As you can see here on the right hand side of the screen, my rice cooker is not going, and rice goes in basically every recipe, so you need a ton of rice. And by not clicking on that, of course, I'm running lower and lower on rice. But having that devil deal means that it's always going, so you don't have to click on it. It's one less thing to click on, but it creates 99% less rice. So you get way less rice, but you can get other perks to make it happen. Here, we're just talking about here, the devil popped up, and here are the options I get. There's the speedy delivery I was talking about, there's one about poop, and then there's the grill efficiency where it cooks 60% faster, but also burns food 80% faster. But because I earlier selected a perk that means that my food can never burn, that was just a pure win for me. So by pure coincidence, I actually negated that devil deal, which was great for me, but that doesn't always happen. Now, if I haven't been gushing about all the different things and mechanics for the past 6 minutes, it's hard to say, but there's more. There's even more than this. On top of all of those modifiers I've talked about, there's additional modifiers outside the game. So every time you end a run, win or lose, you get achievements, and those achievements give you different perks that then on your next run, you can go into with like starting at 5 stars, or create no poop, or customers tip better. A lot of different things that overall affect the game before you even get started, which kind of helps you to choose your build. And that's why it's a roguelike and not a roguelite, is because you do get power-ups that affect you at the start of run. You do have some sense of progression where it's not completely raw every time you go in. You get a little bit better each time. Does it guarantee a win? No, but is it useful? Yes. You can also choose to turn those off if you want a more roguelite experience where it's truly fresh evil every single run. Now, I've played it for a few hours so far, and I did pay full price for it, but at $10, even a few hours of fun, I mean, you pay, what, $15, $20 for a movie ticket, and you watch the movie for 2 hours, so I've already more than gotten my money's worth out of the game. I definitely intend to play it more, but it's also worth pointing out that I said in the beginning, it is an early access game. It is a very small indie team, so there's not a lot of communication and transparency, but they are working on the game. I believe they've said that they are looking at adding, of course, more sushi and more items, more game modes, and more modifiers. I don't really know what else they could add outside of that. Maybe more locations, more customer types. There's definitely more stuff they can add, and they have said that they plan to. So purchasing it in early access, while it is always a risk, I do think that they will make good on those promises and we will get even more content. But even if we didn't, again, for $10, I do feel like there is a good enough price here that for $10, there's enough to make you satisfied. This trash can guy here, beware of him. I totally messed up in my first run. He allows you to remove perks out of your deck. Like if you buy the wrong perk or have something that's negatively impacting you, you can remove it. I didn't realize he removes it. I thought they were more upgrades. So when he came, I purchased everything and I threw out all of my perks, and that was awful. Now, the game is still fairly unknown on Steam. Like, it's showing just barely, I think, 120 reviews, and only 3 are negative, so it's still fairly small. Like, it's not, I'm not going to call it a hidden gem, but it kind of is a hidden gem. Not a lot of people have gotten to enjoy that, and I think that's a shame. So that's why I'm making this video, is for people who want to relive the glory of, like, Flash games and the fun you used to have. There is a lot here for you to chew on, and as long as you like deck builders, roguelikes, anything like that, I think you're going to have a lot of fun with this game. Now, I know a lot of you might also be worried if you're a fan of deck builders and roguelikes. Obviously, Slay the Spire 2 just came out and people have been playing that and playing that and playing that. I don't think these games compete, so even if you have Slay the Spire 2, I don't think you'll be so burned out from it that this wouldn't be fun for you, because this has such a more chaotic, frantic energy to it. It's not like the slow, methodical builds of Slay the Spire. With all that said, I hope you try the game out. I genuinely hope you give it a try. It is on phone as well, so if you need a good mobile game, you can get it on both iPhone and Android. It is available in early access now. We don't know when the full game will come out, but there is plenty more to come, so again, it is more than worth your money. I think it is a great game. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a blessed day.